You've had a couple games or parts of a couple games with Foligno in the middle with Line and Bjorkstrand. I don't. That's obviously not how you wanted to start the season. You went there because you felt you had to. What's the balance for you right now in terms of winning games now versus developing, and how much is that going to be a juggling act for you the rest of the way?
We talked about this yesterday. It's something um, I have to feel out from game to game, within the game. We're trying to win games. I mean, we have to start winning some games. Um, so if I'm not comfortable with Nick in there, I'm not sure where I go. Again, it's not like the other centers aren't getting work. Jack's getting work at center. Tex is getting work at center. Stenlin's getting work at center. So it's kind of both. You guys were saying I was playing Jens in the middle. I haven't. The only adjustment I made was put Nick in the middle of the ice. So the other guys that I guess are in development mode are still getting reps at center ice.
And you have thoughts on developing versus winning. That's a difficult balance, right?
All the
That
time, no matter what's going on with your team, winning or losing, there's always that dynamic. Um, you know, I mean, it's just been that way since I've been here. We're always a pretty young team,
Yeah.
and it's something that is just part of our being as far as coaches. Is we are developing people, and all the time. Since I've been here, we have been that's a big part of our coaching, but that doesn't mean we're not focused on winning.
Yeah. Easier to hide some young guys or protect young guys in certain positions than others. Center's pretty hard, right?
Sure. Center's a very difficult position to play, and when do you give it to them? This is what it is, boys. This is what it is, and I thought it was I just wanted to change things within, I guess, the top six forwards and change things around there, basically because I wanted to get Borky in the mix too. He was playing with Stens, and Stens is still learning. I don't think Stens has played bad, but there's some things I have to be concerned about with him too, along with having Oliver getting that ice time that I'm giving Stens, if you understand, as far as the line. So that's why I changed things. I need to get Borky on the ice more, and I'm not willing to give Stens all that ice time right now as a center iceman. So, but he still gets reps. Him, Jack, and Tex are still there because I moved Nasha to the right wing.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Jacob Myers. Go ahead, Jacob.
John, even in the second period last night, Corpy didn't have to make a ton of great saves to kind of keep the team in like he has other nights. Did you feel like the team took a step forward in defending in their own zone last night?
In the second period?
I guess just in general, but
yeah, we gave up 11 scoring chances when we've been giving up at certain times 20 plus. So we were much better structured. I'm in the process. I'm in the middle of the game of breaking it down now. There is still some there's going to be teaching done. Usually it's a different year because we didn't have training camp. It's a condensed schedule. Usually I always talk about if you start in September, you back off the teaching sometime in late November, early December. We're going to teach all year long here because we're so young up the middle. And that's a huge part of a hockey team in what they have to do, the reads they have to make away from the puck. And also, quite honestly, offensively, distributing the puck and feeling comfortable distributing the puck. So this is going to go on all year long for us in a condensed year, different year, no camp, 3 young center icemen. We're going to teach all the way through here. So I thought we made some good strides, especially in the first period and a couple minutes in the second and third period as far as getting out of our end zone. But there are still a lot of things that we have to go over with our guys without paralyzing them. That's the balancing act, without paralyzing.
I asked Nick last night about how it seems maybe one game scoring is there, defense isn't, and then it might be the opposite. I think that probably happens for the majority of teams in the league in general. But I wanted to ask you if you're seeing enough to make you believe the team isn't far off from putting it all together, or is there just maybe too much inconsistency night to night to make a judgment on that?
Yeah, there's still too much inconsistency. You know, we talked, guys, at the beginning of the year about a different road going down to win. You know, winning a game 5-4, 5-3, and then also winning a game 2-1. We're on the wrong end of a 6-5 win, a loss. Although we get a point and high marks coming back 3 times, but we're on the wrong end of that one, and then we're on the wrong end of a 1-0 one. So we went down the avenues, but we did not complete. We didn't get the wins in a team that desperately needs wins. So there's not, you know, and I know there's a lot of questions with it about the centers and the youth of the team and all that. We are going to, there's not going to be any magic thing that happens for us to come out of this. We just have to continue to work. I think the coaches need to be patient in their teaching. As I have found the past couple of weeks in different styles of coaching, I think the best thing right now is to keep on working with the team and be patient and try to find traction that way. And hopefully we get some consistency. My biggest thing is in our back end with our top 4D, just playing a little bit better each and every game. I thought Z took a step in the right direction. Jonesy has still been, has had some good games, but still inconsistent. Gabby has been very inconsistent. That's the key for us to help us with our center iceman is our back end to kind of drive the bus there.
Thanks.
Okay. Next, we'll go to Dave Metzel. Go ahead, Dave.
George, that's right exactly where I was going. You had Zach and Michael Del Zotto back in the lineup last night. What kind of a difference does that make to have both of those guys who have the potential to create some offense for you and have Seth's game improving the way it has in the last couple of games?
Yeah, they can move a puck. I thought Z looked more of himself for the first half of the game, and I'm still in the middle of it watching it. Made a great play to Jonesy. You know, those type of things happen with those two when they're on their game. Subban makes a great save on him in the first period. Z moved the puck well. I like to see him skate it even more. He tried to move it sometimes too quickly where he could have used his legs. Del Z can make a play. But Del Z's been inconsistent here with, you know, the risk and reward of it all. And I want to let him go, but and let him keep on making plays. But there's also a fine line of getting reckless with it too. So good to have them both in. I thought Carlson had some of the best puck poise of our D last night, quite honestly. And in how he held on to pucks and made some plays. Really encouraging to see the improvement in him. So, yeah, I just don't know where our top 6 are going to be night in and night out. We're going to have to make decisions as we go from game to game.
And how important is that to have that consistency with those 6 guys back there?
Well, to me, it's the 4, Dave. It's the 4. And when things are going well for the Columbus Blue Jackets, our top 4 defensemen are just the mainstays for us, both defensively and getting us out of our end zone. That's been inconsistent, not through lack of try. It's just been an inconsistent year there with all of them. That's a very important part if we want any sniff of trying to stay in the hunt here.
Thanks, John.
Okay. Next, we'll go to Jody Shelley. Go ahead, Jody.
Hey, Torts. Just on that, isn't there predictability that's been there in the past with the center iceman being in position and the wingers for those D, like David Savard, where we're seeing a hesitation? Is it anything to do with those forwards not being there for them?
Absolutely. It's both groups. It's kind of it's not a really good situation where I think we have a little bit of inconsistency with our top 4. And we have that low position. And Jody, I'll go an extra step with you here. Sometimes it's not the center. Sometimes it's the wing that simply doesn't want to be down there in low position and is looking for the center to get him the hell out of there. And that causes a lot of hesitation for our D moving a puck or where our coverage is. Even in the first period, I'm cutting some clips now for our morning meeting, and we're still our first forward back, as you very well know, first forward back should be that low man as far as an arrival, as far as our coverage, and as far as getting us out of there. We have too many people swinging out, hoping the center iceman comes in there and he's the low man. And those 2 seconds or so puts us in a jam. And even in the first period where I thought we played pretty well, we still had some struggles there. So there's a lot of moving parts with the coverage and as far as getting out clean. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. And then, you see the icings happen at the wrong times. Is that just concentration or is that just miscommunication? I mean, that's got to be maddening too.
Yeah, that's to me, that's a lack of confidence. That's seeing the ice. And I think sometimes, because we've spent a lot of time in our end zone as we've been inconsistent this year, sometimes the D it's not a panic mode, but they're just trying to get it out because we've been jammed up in there for so long. And I do think I do think there are plays to be made. And again, I'm on my computer hitting fast forward, rewind, and they're making split-second decisions. I get that. But when our guys are on, both forwards and defensemen, as far as getting out clean, they see the ice. When you lack a little confidence and it's kind of worked up against you here as a 500 hockey club as we are, you start feeling it a little bit, and you don't want to make that huge mistake, so you just flip it out. But you're kind of giving it back to them all the time. Flipper is a big part of the game. A flipper is a very dangerous part of the game offensively. We just go to it too much at times.
All right, thanks, Torch.
You bet.
Okay. And finally, we'll go back to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Aaron.
Thanks. Hey, John, we're talking about how young you are down the middle, which is totally fair, but a guy that you expected to contend to be your number one center perhaps at the start of the season, Max Domi, isn't in there. Have you given up on the idea of him playing in the middle again this season, or where do you stand with him in terms of where he's at?
I haven't there's no timetable for me. I think the biggest thing is I want to take that off of his plate, the amount of work that is needed as far as a center iceman, to try to help him just get his game going, period. I thought Texier's line was probably our most consistent line last night. Him, Bemstrom, and Max. I thought Max took a step in the right direction as far as his legs. Makes a good first pass to Z. Z gives it to Jonesy for a great chance in the first period. Had some really good coverages in our end as far as stopping in the middle of the ice and breaking up plays. I just noticed him more. He's going to stay on wing until he gets somewhere near his game. And he very well knows that, as I've said, he's a really good hockey player. He hasn't been there. It's been a struggle for him right from the get-go this year. I'm keeping him on wing and see if we can help him that way first.
This guy should be a driver of offense for this team, eh?
Yeah, and in the big picture, I hope that happens. I really do. I hope it comes from the middle of the ice for him. But it's been a struggle. I mean, and it's not trying to add more pressure to him. Max and I have had a couple of talks. We've talked as a group, as far as a team. It's been a struggle for him. I thought he took a step in the right direction last night. I just hope he can make those incremental strides to trying to feel more comfortable. And the thing with Max, and he very well admits it, it's his head. He has so many things going on in his head that we're just trying to get him to stop thinking. And that old adage, don't think, you hurt the team. That works with him. He's just got to be more instinctive and play the game. System
stuff in his head?
I think system stuff. No, you know what? I'm not going to say system stuff, and I don't want to talk about my conversation with Max, but I think he wants to know. I'll be honest. He wants to know where we think he is as a player, and I think and we think he has a chance to be, because I've seen it, to be a hell of a player. I think when new players come in and they start talking about systems that are bogging you down, I don't buy that because there's not a lot of different changes that teams can make in the game of hockey. This game of hockey is so fluent and so instinctual. It's not mapping out how you go against a 4-3 defense or a 3-4 and you flip chart and all that. You play.
Yeah.
And I just think Max is lacking a little confidence, wants to know how we feel about him. We're just trying to get him cleared mentally. And then I think his game will flow. Any player, if they're too clogged up mentally, they're paralyzed. So hopefully I thought he played better last night.
Thank you.